Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Great America Show. It's great to have you with us on this beautiful Friday here in America. Thank you so much for spending part of your day, your night, your evening with us. As always, we truly and greatly appreciate it. Well, tonight, the problems for Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook are continuing, and they're continuing to get worse. Federal Housing Finance Agency Director Bill Pulte expanded his allegations against the Federal Reserve Board member Cook, saying she may have made false representations on yet another property she owns. In just a few moments, we're going to be joined by my good friend and weekly favorite on this show, the great Roger Stone, to take all of this up and much, much more with some new details into these allegations. Pulte, in a letter to the Justice Department that he posted on his X account, said that Cook bought another condo, this one in Massachusetts. So you've got the Michigan one, you've got the one in Atlanta, this one now in Massachusetts, in 2021, and classified it as a second home, but then she listed it as an investment/rental property in a filing to the U.S. government in December of that year. Cook was nominated to the Fed board by Joe Biden in January of 2022. Pulte writing in his post, 3 strikes and you're out. Anybody else in this country commits mortgage fraud, you and I, we're in jail. If you're a member of the elite, I guess you get a free pass. Someone who's not getting a free pass tonight is Kamala Harris. Former Vice President Kamala Harris has lost her Secret Service detail after President Trump withdrew the privilege. An Oval Office directive instructs the agency to discontinue all security protocols and procedures beyond those required by law, effective September 1st. A senior White House official confirmed the decision that President Trump says no more for Kamala Harris. Now, AP notes that the loss of Harris's Secret Service protection comes as former Vice President Harris became the Democratic nominee over the summer. Joe Biden did a little thing called stretching, and he stretched her protection a little longer than it should have been. Mike Pence, when he left office, not defending Mike Pence in any way, trust me, lost his protection when he left office. So Kamala Harris should have been afforded the same thing. But, you know, the Democrats, they think that the rules apply for everyone else but themselves. Donald Trump says no more Kamala Harris. Well, the school season is underway, which means 600,000 new Chinese students are going to be entering the United States very, very shortly. That's right. The visa program under the administration is going to allow these people to continue to come into the country, as China has still not answered for the over million lives lost, the American million lives lost during the China virus pandemic, and the millions that happened worldwide. A deep breakdown and a deep dive into these student visas was done by the Gateway Pundit today, and I think they lay it out absolutely brilliantly. I want to go through it because the Gateway Pundit lays out that the Chinese students who come to America are sent here to spy on Americans. Now, this is according to their documents. So I want to go through this because I think it's extremely, extremely important for us. There have been numerous cases of Chinese graduates stealing American intellectual property and even biological samples, but the most compelling reason to restrict their entry into America is the Chinese law that obligates all citizens to spy for the regime. And the CCP routinely threatens or coerces individuals and their families until they comply. By this standard, Chinese students in the U.S. are effectively acting as spies, or what U.S. law officially refers to as foreign agents. You heard that term quite frequently when it came to General Michael Flynn, but I guess not for these Chinese students. Now, under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, individuals must register if they act, quote, at the order, request, direction, or control of foreign principals, even without a contract or formal agreement. The law also considers whether requests are made through coercion or through threats, and whether the foreign principals exercise power over the agents. By these standards, Chinese students studying in America meet the definition of foreign agents and should be required to register. So why are they not? The Gateway Pundit goes on to point out that the PRC's 2017 National Intelligence Law, Article 7, states, quote, all organizations and citizens shall support, assist, and cooperate with national intelligence efforts in accordance with law and shall protect national intelligence work secrets they are aware of. In practice, this means that when the intelligence agencies demand information or assistance, compliance is mandatory and refusal can result in punishment. But, folks, we have 600,000 of them continuing to come to the United States under student visas. It begs the question, why? We don't have a clear trade deal with China. We have that one that was put together temporarily, but we've got no trade deal with China about them stealing our intellectual property and the companies and corporations that willingly turn it over. But then you've also got the fact that I can't get past the million-plus Americans who were killed and murdered by China during the China virus. They've still not paid the price for it. Xi Jinping still gets out there on a stage and stands with a firm chest. Nobody's held this man to account for the people, our brothers, our sisters, our grandparents, our mothers who died. Funerals that we couldn't go to because of lockdowns in draconian New York, California, and every other state that did lockdowns. That doesn't sit right with me. The fact that we even have one student visa coming from China after nothing was done about that breaks my heart. Because we all know, whether it be a friend, a family member, someone who died from COVID, some of us very sick, including myself, from the China virus. And no accountability for these people for what they unleashed on the world. Yet we allow them to still come study here. Now, some will tell you that the American universities can't sustain. They can't stay in business without these Chinese immigrants coming over to come to our schools. And that's total nonsense. You've got willing and able American bodies who score in the percentile to go to these universities. And it's the Harvards of the world, who, by the way, have enough endowment to never take $1 of tuition ever again. The UPenns of the world, the Columbias of the world, all, like I said, have enough endowment to self-sustain, to not charge anybody even tuition. So the notion that we need these people to come in here to keep the universities open is hogwash. And anyone who's allowing these people to do this should be ashamed, because they need to answer for what they did to this country and what they did to the rest of the world. Folks, we're going to be joined on the other side of this quick break by my friend, as I said, the great Roger Stone. We're going to take up all of this. We're going to take up Bill Pulte over at FHA and the work that he's doing to uncover the mortgage fraud by the Democrats who think that it's cool to commit mortgage fraud. We're going to take up that. We're going to take up some corruption, possibly, in the D.C. courts. Imagine that. You're not going to imagine the connection, the judge who was assigned to Miss Cook's lawsuit against President Trump. I'm sure it was random, but we're going to tell you about that on the other side of this quick break. We're also going to take up the possibility of an RNC convention in 2026 before the midterm elections. All of that and much, much more, folks, on the other side of this quick break. The Great America Show continues in just moments. Please stay with us. We're coming right back.
You're still looking good.
I'm still feeling good. You know, I've got all your MyPillow products. Mattress topper, bed sheets, MyPillows, towels, slippers, blankets.
I'm interrupted this commercial to do something I've never done before. Get 2 MyPillows absolutely free on orders of $100 or more. I can't do this forever, so get on board with this great sale today. Our best-selling 6-piece bath towel sets or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Our famous standard MyPillows only $14.98. Queens $18.98. King size only $1 more. Body pillows $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bed sheet sets. Any size, any color. So go to MyPillow.com or call that number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And when you spend $100 or more, get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Roger, as always, happy. Let me restart there. Roger, happy Friday. As always, a delight to talk to you, especially when it's a Friday. Let's start with the Federal Reserve governor seemingly not wanting to leave her post, suing Donald Trump in her lawsuit against President Trump, acknowledging she may have made a few clerical errors, but he's only going after her because she's the first black governor of the Federal Reserve.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Bill Pulte, who is the head of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, is being criticized because he's enforcing the law. Every year, thousands of people get referred to the Justice Department for mortgage fraud. The thing is, most of them aren't famous or prominent or important, so you don't hear their names. But evidently, Lisa Cook thinks that because she's a DEI hire at the Federal Reserve, there's special rules for her. She thinks she's above the law. So, first of all, let's be clear about the facts. She claimed that her home in Ann Arbor, Michigan, was her principal legal residence. She got a state tax break. She got a favorable mortgage rate. She got a favorable insurance rate. Then 2 weeks later, she claimed that her home outside of Atlanta was her principal legal residence. Once again, she got a special state tax break and a favorable mortgage rate and a favorable insurance rate. 2 weeks later, unlikely that that's a clerical error. Now it turns out she has a third property in Cambridge, Massachusetts, which she sometimes claims is an investment property, but other times she says it was a second home, which would give it an entirely different tax treatment. So this is 3 strikes, and I say 3 strikes, you're out. The president has the authority to fire Federal Reserve board members for cause. At least 3 previous Federal Reserve board members resigned when they were under federal investigation. Right. So she is now going to sue the president in D.C. She went out and hired literally the worst lawyer in America, Abby Lowell. This guy has a long track record. He represented my friend Joe Bruno, who was the Senate Majority Leader in New York. Bruno was convicted on all counts. The Supreme Court threw out his conviction. They retried him. He fired Abby Lowell, got a good lawyer. He was acquitted on all counts. Abby Lowell represented a former Senator, Robert Torricelli of New Jersey. He was forced to resign. He also represented Hunter Biden. Well, you know how that worked out. So,
and Norm Eisen too. Roger is now representing her. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that. So, and then additionally, in his filing, he admits that she's a member of the executive branch. Therefore, Donald Trump, as the chief executive, has the full authority to fire her. But what's really outrageous is she files her lawsuit in the District of Columbia, and it gets referred to a judge named Gia Cobb, who, by the way, when you look at her, is a carbon copy of Lisa Cook. Now, that would not be unusual to send a lawsuit to a crazy left-wing Trump-hating radical judge in D.C., but the woman who referred it is the clerk of the D.C. courts, a woman named Angela Caesar. Here's the problem. Lisa Cook and the judge who got her case, Gia Cobb, are sorority sisters in the same female sorority, the Delta Sigma Theta. Can you say recuse? This is ridiculous. In all honesty, this is not the first time that Angela Caesar has been accused of manipulating where cases end up. It's funny how Judge Boasberg seemed to get all of the Trump cases. The FBI should arrest Ms. Caesar this afternoon. I'm not sure what they're waiting for.
Any idea where they went to college? I'm just curious where they were taught to do this.
I don't know that they went to the same college, but they're the same members of the Black female sorority.
Gotcha.
And to me, that's a conflict of interest.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, if someone had tweeted something in positivity of Donald Trump back in 2016 to 2020, they had to recuse themselves immediately. Otherwise, it was some crazy conflict of interest. Jeff Sessions had to step down as Attorney General of the United States for whatever stupid reason because he had Russian salad dressing one time on a salad. It's time that these Republicans get serious, Roger, because time is running out. 3.5 years is going very fast.
Well, but I do want you to think about the possibilities here. It's really possible that Letitia James and Lisa Cook and Gia Cobb and Fannie Willis could all be sent to the same federal prison. How appropriate would that be?
it excites me to think about it. But like you said, Kash Patel, people have to get serious, Roger. When are we going to see it? Strongly worded letters aren't going to work anymore. When we see everything that happened to President Trump and anyone around him, including yourself, when you're just getting slaps on the wrist for these people and they're sitting around laughing like it's some sort of joke. Since when is mortgage fraud a joke?
This was one of the funniest segments I've ever seen on CNN. Now, as you know, I don't get my news from CNN, the same reason I don't drink out of the toilet. But Aaron Burnett, who's literally brainless, is interviewing Van Jones on this. And they imply that the facts of this case, Lisa Cook's case, are incorrect when the facts are indisputable. Now, I'd seen a guy on Bloomberg previously accuse Bill Pulte of using proprietary information. No, all of these facts regarding Lisa Cook are online. Any American can go look them up. The fact that she lied, you can see her signatures. They match 2 weeks apart. So then, to make the thing even worse, Van Jones comes on and says, these Republicans need to be careful because if they use these weaponization tactics on Democrats today, when the Democrats get back in, they could use them on the Republicans. Van, what planet have you been living on? You and your friends, Comey, Biden, Rice, Brennan, Mueller, Rosenstein, all of these people got busted falsifying an entire criminal conspiracy that didn't exist. You already tried to destroy us. And now when you're under scrutiny for actual crimes performed by Democrats, you don't like it? Van, they should look up your mortgages this afternoon.
What you mentioned about Pulte is absolutely brilliant because he posts, if you don't follow him on Twitter, I think his Twitter is just at Pulte. He posts literally the Zillow listing, which is public information of this idiot listing her place for rent 2 weeks after she obtained the mortgage for it. Like you said, public information for these journalists to go do diligence, but they don't because they don't care. They don't care about where the facts lead. They have an agenda, and that's what they want to push. But Kash Patel, somebody's got to do something about this. Pam Bondi, they had no problem going to get Peter Navarro in an airport in leg irons because he didn't appear before a bullshit committee. This is a real crime that any other American, Roger Stone, John Fawcett, gets brought in right away for. If you owe $1,000 on your taxes, they can come and get you. Yet these people, doesn't matter. Adam Schiff, another one committing mortgage fraud. Big Tish James, another one committing mortgage fraud. They have the evidence. What the hell are they waiting for?
No, I think you raised an excellent question. Although I must admit, I'm always impressed by Adam Schiff's ability to lie with a straight face.
Yeah.
I saw him on with that brainless twit, Kristen Welker, the other day. She's another moron. If her IQ is 1 point lower, you'd have to water her like a plant. But she's interviewing Adam Schiff, and he says, "Oh, none of it's true. It's all made up." Adam, we can see the records online. You said your condo in Burbank, which, by the way, could not accommodate a family of four, is your principal legal residence. You got a California state tax break. You got a lower mortgage rate. You got a lower insurance rate. Then you said your home in Potomac, Maryland is your principal legal residence. Refinanced that one 4 times. Each time you said the same thing. Now, they can't both be your principal legal residence. So it's not made up. It's 100% true. You just think, you with your pencil neck and your watermelon head, you think for some odd reason you're above the law. I know you have those crazy eyes, those kind of those crystal meth eyes that you and AOC have, but that is not going to prevent you from being prosecuted like average Americans. If anyone else did what you did, they'd be in jail right now.
What are they waiting for? What are they waiting for to go after Adam Schiff for his lies on the Russia collusion, his leaking of classified documents, his mortgage fraud? What's the holdup, Roger?
I wish I knew. I mean, I do hear from credible sources that there is a grand jury, multiple grand juries that are hearing this testimony. I hope that is right. One of Stone's most important rules, John, use power or lose power. Use power or lose power. I think it's rule 131.
Yeah, they've got to stop sitting on their hands, Roger. It's really infuriating for you and I to sit here and to realize that time is just ticking. They have midterm elections coming up in just over a year. Who knows if they're going to win them, because the Republicans are dumber than I won't even say it, but who knows what's going to happen in the next 6 months? Who knows what's going to happen in the next year? Yet it seems the Republicans, and it's not Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is the only one who's working. It's Mike Johnson. It's Kash Patel. It's Pam Bondi. What have we really seen come out of this cabinet, aside from Tulsi Gabbard and Donald Trump?
Yeah, no, I think this is why Bill Pulte is a standout.
Bill Pulte, yeah.
Bill Pulte is being attacked in the Wall Street Journal and Politico editorials yesterday in Bloomberg. This shows that he's over the target. What is he doing other than his job? He has not made any assertion in public or in his referral letters to the department that is incorrect or false. And again, thousands of people are prosecuted for these crimes every day. It's not just Republicans. It's not just Democrats. It's not just well-known elitist liberals. So it'll be interesting to see the president's lawyers, since Lisa Cobb, the Federal Reserve board member who's busted for mortgage fraud, is suing Trump in D.C. Trump's lawyers need to move to recuse the judge on the basis that they're sorority sisters. But there needs to be an immediate federal investigation into this woman, Angela Caesar, who is the clerk. I'm sorry. She either shows you evidence of a random draw, which does not exist, or she needs to go to jail.
Yeah, it never does exist. It never does exist. Earlier this morning, President Trump pulled the Secret Service detail for Kamala Harris, I think long overdue. It's nice to see, but like I've said, Roger, he's the only one who is doing absolute anything. But he's a one-man team. He can't do everything on his own. We need to start seeing things change around Washington, D.C., don't you think?
Well, I think you're being a little harsh. The president, Bill Pulte, and, of course, Tulsi Gabbard, who has accomplished more in a few months than imaginable. People don't really understand the significance of John Bolton. You see, John Bolton talked the president out of declassifying the Crossfire Hurricane documents when he was the National Security Advisor. He told him that releasing these documents would put U.S. intelligence agents' lives in danger. That's bullshit. Yeah. He also said this is going to upset our allies. Well, if our allies were involved in trying to topple a U.S. president, they should be embarrassed. In fact, they should have all their federal aid cut off. But he persuaded the president not to do that. Then at the end of his term, Rick Grenell, who was the acting director of national intelligence, ordered that these same documents be declassified. And the bureaucrats simply refused to do it.
Yep.
So now, thanks only to the persistence and the courage of Tulsi Gabbard, it's all out there. Hillary knew about the operation before, and she approved it. These are in the words of her own aides. Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Susan Rice, James Clapper, John Brennan, they're all in the room. This makes them all targets for the grand jury. They may think that they're going to escape. I don't think so. John Brennan, my information, I think it's accurate. He's on the lam. He's already left the country. My guess is that he will disappear soon because he knows two things. His indictment is coming. He's going to be charged with seditious conspiracy to commit treason, and he knows what the penalty for treason is.
Where do they bring these charges? Because clearly D.C. has a very big problem with the judge pool. Where do you think they bring these charges?
Well, this because it is a continuing conspiracy. In other words, it began in 2016. It continues into 2017. As Tulsi Gabbard is going to prove very shortly, I believe it continued into the 2020 elections. It continues with the unconstitutional appointment of Jack Smith. It continues with the raid in Mar-a-Lago. Therefore, the trial will be in Fort Pierce, Florida. That's where the trial will be. A place, by the way, that all those people can actually get a fair trial. You get a fair judge. You get a fair jury, unlike the District of Columbia, where there is not a single honest judge, not one. There's a zero chance of getting an honestly drawn jury. I know about this firsthand. Trust me.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Speaking of Jack Smith, they've got an investigation going on into him where his lawyers just responded. It's from a federal watchdog group. They say the allegations are imaginary and unfounded. Jack Smith went on the greatest witch hunt, Roger. I may say even bigger than the Russia collusion, which was big.
They're investigating Jack Smith for the wrong thing. General Flynn and others have turned over to the Justice Department absolutely irrefutable evidence that Jack Smith was soliciting and getting bribes when he was at The Hague. This is what he should be investigated for. This is what he should be charged for. This is what he should be convicted for. This is what he should be incarcerated for. Not imagining this. That's not baseless. The evidence is indisputable. Once again, our Justice Department is investigating Jack Smith for the wrong crime.
Who is doing this investigation?
No one. That's precisely the problem. The evidence has been handed over to the Justice Department. You should get General Flynn on. He can speak to this extensively. We have absolute irrefutable evidence that Jack Smith was soliciting bribes from people in Bosnia and others in Eastern Europe, saying, if you don't pay me off, I'm going to charge you in this international court. You're going to prison. This guy is the most stone-cold criminal that ever lived, and it's right there. It's an easy indictment and conviction. They're not even looking at it.
Let me ask you something, Roger. Are the Democrats just dumb or brazen? Based on the fact that every single person they had come forward, every single person they had do an investigation, every single member of Congress or senator come forward with Russia collusion has some sort of checkered past, some sort of skeletons in the closet. Not one of these people, Roger, who has investigated President Trump checks out clean. Robert Mueller, to name one. Jack Smith, to name another. James Comey, Clapper, Brennan, whoever you laid down the list, these people have some sort of checkered past. Not one of these people, in my opinion, could pass a friggin' regular background check.
That's because they're demons, John. These people are not mortal. They're demons. They're epically corrupt. Let's take John Brennan, because I think it's important to know. He's an admitted communist. It's not me saying it. He said it. While under a federal polygraph examination, he signed the visas for 4 of the men they tell us attacked America on 9/11 when he was the station chief in Riyadh. He converted to radical Wahhabism in a ritual while there. If you're listening, Mr. Brennan, sue me. Please sue me. My lawyers are very anxious to question you under oath. When will that be? Never. He also got caught red-handed spying on a Senate committee that was investigating his use of torture. He's an arrogant son of a bitch, but he's on the lam because he's a wanted man. This may end up having to be a citizen's arrest. Who knows? But this guy's going down one way or another.
There's a few citizens' arrests that I think need to happen. We'll talk about one particular at the end of the show that I want to get your take on. Let's turn to some politics, Roger. President Trump tweeting out yesterday about the possibility of having an RNC convention before the 2026 midterm elections. I guess it would be, to put it nicely, to bail out the lazy, weak-kneed Republicans who need to be dragged across the finish line yet once again, one more time by President Trump before he retires at the end of his term. Your thoughts on it?
Well, I think it's actually a very good idea because it would be a media extravaganza, and it would be an opportunity to show people the accomplishments of this administration. I was watching, as painful as it is, MSNBC the other night, and I saw Claire McGaskill. Now, she was ignominiously defeated by the people of Missouri. They rejected her. They don't like her. They don't like her at all. They tossed her ass out. But she said that the Epstein scandal, the scandal involving Bill and Hillary Clinton, the scandal involving former Senate Majority Leader George Mitchell, the one, where Larry Summers, the Treasury Secretary, makes various trips to Epstein's Island for his parties, that scandal, that this is a distraction from the collapsing economy of Donald Trump. Is this woman mentally deranged? Can she not read? What's her problem? You see why the people of Missouri sent her packing. She probably can't even go back there. She's so hated. But this is who MSNBC puts on the air. Now they're changing their name from MSNBC to MS Now. That's not going to fool anybody. Everything you say is bullshit. Nothing they say on MSNBC is either true or accurate. Their individual hosts need to be relentlessly mocked for stupidity.
Yeah, and the mainstream media, Roger, has been complicit all along the way in just the garbage spewed upon the American people. Who can hold these people accountable? I mean, the viewers clearly don't, who still tune into the garbage. Who's going to hold these people accountable for the lies and treason that they've spewed for the last 10 years?
Well, first of all, I think they were held accountable in the last election. We both understood Trump's return to the White House was an impossibility. There was zero chance that was going to happen. They spewed their bullshit throughout the campaign. Now, this whole new narrative that the Republicans shouldn't be mean to us because when we get back into the power, we're going to pay them back. John, they tried to send me to jail for 7 to 9 years for lying under oath about Russian collusion that never actually happened. They tried to send General Flynn to jail for a conversation with the ambassador to Russia in which he did not discuss sanctions. Just to be very clear, the James Clapper, his successor, he spoke to the Russian intelligence, the Russian ambassador before he was sworn in. Susan Rice, she spoke to the Russian ambassador before she was sworn in, but nobody charged them. It's a new day, John. I don't think they continue to get away with much. Look at their ratings. They're in the toilet. No one's watching. No one's watching CNN. Jake Tapper has soiled himself beyond anything I've ever seen. Jake, you knew the entire time that Joe Biden was non-compos mentis. You knew all along. You chastised Lara Trump when she tried to say it, although she humiliated you because you're such a girly man. But now you've written a hit book saying that Joe Biden was around the bend. You knew it then. Why didn't you see it then? You shouldn't even be able to go out in public with your record. It's embarrassing. You're an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment.
Let's turn to, before we wrap, Roger, RFK over at HHS and the CDC director. Another one being fired, let go, refusing to leave, doesn't agree with RFK Jr. Wasn't President Trump's first pick. Last pick didn't, of course, have Senate approval because of, I think it was Bill Cassidy who handpicked this one. Yeah. What's going on here?
I think RFK is doing an amazing job.
Sure.
He's done away with this childhood requirement for COVID-19 vaccinations. This woman, Susan Monterez, you better look at the track record of your lawyer, Abby Lowell, because you're done. You're completely finished. And by the way, if she refuses to leave the office, this is where you send federal marshals in to grab her and throw her out in the street. And you lock her out of the computer and out of the office. That's the way it works. They may not have realized that we had an election. So I think that the people at CDC don't like it because they can't read for the script written for them by Big Pharma. Again, you people lost the election. You're leaving. If you don't want to leave, we'll accompany you to the door.
Yeah, it doesn't get much simpler than that. You had mentioned the Epstein stuff. Do you think that's said and done? Do you think we get any more information about that? Any more people involved?
It's unfortunate that two Democrat federal judges, one in Florida, one in New York, refused to release the grand jury testimony regarding a man who's dead and therefore has no rights. But we know that they're covering up for Bill Clinton. So this idea that Bill Clinton never went to the island, according to Maxwell, put a lie detector test on her, put a polygraph on that one. Look at the sworn testimony of Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Bill was on the island 4 times. Jeffrey Epstein imported two 16-year-olds from New York specifically for Bill's amusement. Bill, what will happen when you are subpoenaed to the Congress? If you don't show up for that subpoena, well, then, like Steve Bannon, like Peter Navarro, you need to be arrested and put in jail. See, we have one tier of justice now, no two-tier justice stuff. Bill Clinton's got a subpoena. So does Kenkles, his wife. They need to show up, or they need to be arrested.
Yeah, that's before House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, who I think, I don't know your opinion on him, Roger, but I think he's doing a hell of a job given the circumstances he's dealt with. I met with him a few months back. He wants to do the job, but from what I got from him, there's people who are blocking him, and it's not Democrats, it's Republicans.
Well, I mean, that is a larger problem. They're going to have to get a lot tougher about the elections. I mean, I'll give you a perfect example. Kathy Castor in the 13th District of Florida did not win her seat. They counted 54,000 mail-in ballots that have no date of birth and no Social Security. This is how it works. You go to the House Administration Committee, we have a vote. They vote to unseat her. Now someone on the floor says, I move to unseat Kathy Castor. Is there a second? There's a second. And you vote. That's it. She's out. She didn't win the election. The Congress people who represent Orange County, California, where more people voted than are registered to vote. Very simple. You unseat them on the House. The House is the final arbiter of who is seated. So, Speaker Johnson, please, my friend, grow a set. Unseat these people. They were not legally seated.
That brings me to my final question here. President Trump last week tweeted out that he wants election reform. He wants mail-in ballots, paper ballots, and he wants the machines gone. But then he tweeted out to the Republicans to get it done. Can he do this as president of the United States? It's something that we all want to see. It's something that people lost their jobs over. Lou Dobbs was fired over. Tucker Carlson was fired over. Mike Lindell was sued into an oblivion over. I mean, people lost everything they have, every penny they had, their livelihoods, their jobs over these election companies who will not show the proprietary software that they use, don't have to show anything they use. Private companies running the most important elections in the world just doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't seem kosher, Roger.
Well, there's a couple points. First of all, elections are not regulated by the federal government. They're regulated by the states.
Right.
So I don't know if the president has this authority. I appreciate the spirit of what he's trying to do, but it's the states who have to make these changes. However, the bad news for them is Tulsi Gabbard is on the case. There's a working group there. They're looking at classified documents regarding the integrity of these machines. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I think there's more than enough there to get rid of these things. And if the Democrats are against it, Roger, it means that the Republicans, as you said earlier, are over the target. You, Roger, as always, get the last word here. A delight to talk to you on a Friday. No better day to talk to Roger Stone than a Friday, although every day is a good day. I
just want to remind folks that you can hear my show every day at 8 p.m. Eastern at 77 WABC Radio in New York. So you go to WABCradio.com, WABCradio.com. You can hear my show at 8 p.m. Eastern every weeknight in real time. Now, if you can't make that, it's also posted at that same address, WABCradio.com. Check it out. We talk politics. It's a pretty hot show. I think you'll like it. And beyond that, go to stonezone.com. You can get all my books. My birthday was this past Wednesday, August 27th, the same day as the greatest single corrupt and evil president of the United States, Lyndon Baines Johnson. We share a birthday. There's a cosmic reason for that because I exposed him as the murderer of President John F. Kennedy in my New York Times best-selling book, The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ. If this interests you, go to themanwhokilledkennedy.com. Themanwhokilledkennedy.com. It's a New York Times bestseller. I nailed it. Check it out.
And get your Stones Rules books as well. StoneZone.com. Roger, belated happy birthday to you, and I hope you celebrated it with a Russian martini.
Thanks, John. Great to be with you.
Be well, my friend. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody, for being with us today here on The Great America Show. We hope to see you back here Monday for The Great America Show, where our quest for truth, justice, and the American way continues. See you back here, folks. Same time, same place on Monday. I hope you all have a great weekend, a blessed weekend with your friends, family. God bless you all. We'll see you back here Monday for The Great America Show. Until then, may God bless you, may God bless America, and may God bless the great Lou Dobbs. Have a great night and have a great weekend, everybody.